just to update on this 56-inch US General roll cart. Everything has been going pretty well, but recently that power strip in this drawer, as you can see, it's removed now. It got stuck, not the power strip, but that little cable chain in the back. Again, that's also gone. That cable chain, if it doesn't sit correctly when you push it back in, it'll snap itself backwards. And to my knowledge, unless you have really good clearance, there's no way to unsnap it back into proper curve. And then every time you try to close it, it'll get stuck at wherever that kink is. And unfortunately that day I was raging and it jammed itself. And at this point, even the bottom drawer will get stuck as well. So I got really angry and then I started, banging things up. I had to use see, it's kind of stuck there now, right? I ended up getting so mad, I removed the entire cable chain, as you can see by the hole back there, and removed the entire power strip, because as you can see, it's kind of useless in my setup. When that strip is there, there's not really any space to plug things in there. There's just not a lot of top clearance for you to actually charge things, in my setup at least. I'm gonna splice in some older footage of how I removed that for your convenience. I did that when I was painting this cabinet. There's a few screws, so let's get those out first. So there's actually 4 screws and there's a nut on the other side, so make sure you have a pliers or something to hold the nut on the other side while you unscrew these 4 screws. Lift up this mat and you'll see there's 4 more on the bottom, so they really have this secured down. This cable chain is actually fastened on the back side of this cabinet. As for the power plug, I'm not sure which size Allen key it is. The one on the left is pretty tight. The one on the right is pretty loose. There's 2 more nuts inside here that can be removed with a 6mm socket. Because of all that manhandling, there's some issues with the latches breaking off on the side, rubbing some of the paint off on the top. I'm gonna order new latches because I do have a small child at home, and when it's loose, it's actually dangerous for this to just slide out by itself like this. There's a slight incline in my garage. The small latches here are 1 piece. The one for the top drawer is actually a 2-piece plastic latch. I'm gonna order those from the replacement site. Let's wait for it to come in and let's easily get it replaced. To remove the old latch that's broken, there's this little tab here. You just gotta lift it up in here, right? I don't know if you can see that. You gotta lift it up and out, and that's literally it. You just gotta wiggle it around a little bit. There's a little notch right there. That's it. Just slide it out and put the new one in. Watch the orientation of that so you don't break it. These are actually really fragile, as you can see here. Here they are. The 2 smaller ones came in this box. And then the larger one came in this one. They're packaged differently, don't know why. Let's get them installed. Once the old one's removed, you just simply slide in the new one from the end here. And once again, that little hook right there, you just gotta maneuver it in, all right? Be careful not to break the new one, otherwise you're just wasting money. So, look at how I did this when you twisted this a little bit to the left. There you go. Yep. Oh, did I get that on camera? Twist it a little bit towards you. Let's try again with the top one. This one's broken already. We'll move it out. Here's the old one where the tab sheared off. Here's the new one. Once again, slide it back in, slide the new one in. See if we get a better angle of this time. Let's focus on that. So I'm gonna twist this toward myself and put it in. Yep, once it's hooked on, it's good to go. So for the top one, this is a 2-piece. It interlocks here in the middle, right here. So we're gonna put this side in first. Once you get most of the first shorter piece in, you're gonna take the second longer piece here, interlock that tab right here, and continue sliding it in. Once again, be careful. You don't want to break the new one already and have to buy it again. So you might want to spray some or put some silicone grease on these. Maybe it'll help it slide better, but I don't know. Finally, same as before, where it twists to have a little to the right while seating it and to get over that groove. There you go. It's just a press fit, and that's why it breaks so easily. So, and it's done. So it's very easy, but you'll probably have to do this pretty often. They seem to break really easily. Process is the same for these 4 drawers. That's called a medium size latch. These 2 are the short, and then the top 2 are the long ones. If you learned something in this video today, please give this video a like and subscribe for more easy do-it-yourself projects at home. As shown today in this video, I rate this a 2 out of 5. Really should be a 1 out of 5, but I'm going to say 2 because it's very easy to snap these plastic pieces, and it's really aggravating to have to order a new one because you made a careless mistake. Just for fun, a quick tour of my roll cab. I think I called it a cart earlier by mistake. On the top, as usual, it has become storage. It's got some epoxy resin, storage trays. I believe this is a free light from a promotion they had recently at Harbor Freight when I bought $40 or more of stuff. The recent World Cup, special cup. Got some special heart air tools. I think they may be being discontinued at Walmart, not too sure. But there's a die grinder and there's an air cutoff tool. If you want to see me review these, definitely check out the Simple Rating channel, my other channel where I simply review stuff. Lottery ticket, a $2 winning or something like that I really should cash, but too lazy. All right, drawers. Top one is the sockets. I reviewed these Gura design socket trays for $40 on that Simple Rating channel. Then all the other ratchet, what do you call these, socket wrenches, breaker bars, extensions, wheel locks, they're all in this top drawer here. Second drawer, as you can see, I actually use my tools so everything's a disorganized mess no matter how much I try to clean things up. Screwdriver's in the wrong place, move that later, or actually screwdriver goes here. The long screwdrivers, wrenches, specialty wrenches, very straightforward. Top drawer here, the pliers drawer. Then you got the picks, the punches, chisels, more pliers, snap ring pliers. These are kind of horrible, get the better version. The tolerance is not very good. Then again, a mess of pliers that I actually use more often, scattered everywhere. These are more specially bad day scenario kind of tools. You got the taps. Actually, I don't know. I don't have the tap. What do you call these? The rethreading kits, screw extractors, which some have broke already. We have the files. What do you call those? Helicoils, I believe, or time certs. I can't remember, but you gotta make your own hole, rethread it. You gotta make a hole, reamer bit kind of thing. Pins. Then on this side is more of the precision, if you want to call it. We have the calipers, you have the feeler gauges, more bad day stuff if you drop a nut somewhere, a bolt, magnetic tools here. And then let's see. As you go further down this drawers, there are less and less commonly used items. These are seal pullers. These are another seal puller. This is a, I can't remember, this pulls something, I believe. Yeah, these are so infrequent, I can't remember what they do. These are a ball joint press of some sort. A seal driver to press seals back in. I can't even remember which car this is for. These older style, cup style oil filter removal wrenches. A drum brake removal kit, which I haven't even used yet, which is kind of funny. And more tools, which I can't quite remember what they're used for. And then, of course, the jaw pullers, which actually couldn't get off the, what do you call that? I was doing my timing belt, that I think it's called a harmonic balancer. I actually needed a 2-prong version of this, so I'll probably add that at a later time. And this tray, which I always forget I have, never use. And the bottom is all my air tools and really infrequently used stuff, like my do-it-yourself alignment kit, wheel alignment kit. Rarely do that now. And then all the air tools, the sander, HVLP guns, all from Harbor Freight. Then, the cup kit that comes with that, the filters. Rarely used, even for normal people. Yeah, as you saw earlier, the mess of electrical, diag, multimeter. I keep winding these wires up, but then as I keep using them, I get frustrated. Usually when I have to grab these, I'm pretty pissed off for some reason. So it's always a mess, and rinse and repeat kind of deal. And then finally, this last drawer here. Remove my racing numbers, which I never use anymore. These are some sort of test kits, compression test kit. This is a vacuum test kit. Some of the extra seal drivers are down here. I believe some of those extra socket cases are down there, and then some more specialty stuff that I, again, can't remember because I never use it. And that took longer than I expected, but hopefully you have yours more organized than I do. Maybe I'll make a future video on how to organize it, but I just never got to it because, as I mentioned earlier, when I'm doing these DIY projects, I'm always pissed off and then things just end up scattered everywhere. I previously had the 34-inch US General 5-drawer cart, and I got most of everything to fit in here. All the overflow crap or stuff you want to call is on these shelves. All the liquids, paint, etc. So I think I made out pretty well. At one point I wanted to get the 72-inch, but just had a hard time fitting it in this little area right here. So I'm very happy with the purchase, and I would highly recommend this roll cab. Other than that, everything has been going pretty well. As you can see, this tool cap has seen quite some use, fingerprints, a lot of oil marks. I'm aware that now there's actually a purple option at Harbor Freight. That's why this purple is not the same. This is the one that I did myself. This is the Plum Crazy color code. That's metallic. I think the one from Harbor Freight's actually, non-metallic for that reason. But all in all, no regrets. I would do it again. I would touch it up again. Yeah, if I had money, I would have, in patience, I would have just bought the purple one because the powder coating from the factory is a lot better. But that's it for today. Hope you all have a good day and see y'all next time.